My eyes often roll when an entrepreneur, wannabe-preneur, whatever you want to call it, will ask me, what is the secret to making my brand go viral? And then you just say, really, like, this is not true. That being said, Warby Parker seemingly has a magic formula that I've heard you talk about on certain occasions of how you've basically built, arguably, a brand that is driven by word of mouth, where that I believe is, if it is no longer, was previously your biggest, traffic driver. So I guess I have to ask the eye-rolling question of, has Warby Parker actually found a formula for building sustainable word of mouth?
I think it really comes down to making out with a lot of people. But I think what we find is that when we do something that's authentic to who we are as a brand, when we do something that's different, when we do something that's unexpected, we get rewarded. So I guess a couple of the lessons are go bold, stay true to yourself, and we found that when we do something different, like our Home Try-On program, the first of its kind in the U.S., GQ labeled us the Netflix of eyewear, and it drove a ton of traffic to our site. Or when we start opening up stores, which is sort of really strange for a company that started in e-commerce, we get a ton of press, a ton of word of mouth. So there's a way to think about sort of marketing that we think of it as sort of what can we do that people want to talk about at dinner? Because everybody wants to sound smart at dinner, so what can we do that's a little bit different, that's interesting and thoughtful?
And do you feel that other business owners can learn something from that? Do you feel that you are an outlier in that instance of how you've been able to be, frankly, just very successful at building an incredible amount of traffic ongoing? Is this an accessible tool of the masses?
Well, I think a lot of the masses are served by very large companies which unfortunately tend to play defense. And when you play defense, you're not doing stuff that's unexpected, you're not being bold, so you're not earning that goodwill or word of mouth. So I guess this would probably be some advice of Fortune 1000 companies is stop, covering your butts and, do something that's worth talking about. Mm-hmm. For entrepreneurs, I think for the most part it's just inherent because they're sort of thinking about a new business, a new idea, a new way of doing things, and that in turn ends up being something that people want to talk about.
I imagine your sort of web growth chart looks, maybe a little bit more like this, but something along the lines of this from when I've seen previous presentations and such. Has there ever been a dip, something unexpected that you had to actually diagnose and then figure out what it was? You ever see anything like that?
Well, I think what we've seen is often, big step ups, and some of that's driven by press, some of that's driven by, releasing like a new product or something. But, I think that we've been pretty lucky in that we've been investing in our customers and they've been paying us back where sort of every pair of glasses that we sell, it ends up bringing more people in. So we've been able to have sustained growth. And I think that's the beauty of good customer service is that it allows you to grow in a sustainable way, in a way that is, you don't have to worry about sort of customers sort of disappearing sort of as soon as you sort of ramp down some marketing spend.